Hello, everybody. It's Renn Ari, and this is the next episode. We're about to go on a group date art show thing with Damien and Hugo. Damien and Hugo invited me to the monthly art walk in downtown Maple Bay. I've never really been to one of these before, so I'm not quite sure what I'm in for. I think I'm here a bit early. I don't see Damien or Hugo around anywhere, and I feel just a little uncomfortable standing among all these fancy art people. Run? I turn around. It's Joseph. Oh my god. Why is it Joseph? Joseph, what are you doing
Hmm.
here? Joseph scoffs at me. What am I doing here? How could you possibly ask me that? I'm obviously a huge art appreciatist.
Oh. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Damien invited me to this art walk thing. I'm guessing he invited you too? Yep, admittedly a little out of my depth here.
Oh.
Thank God. I thought I was going to be the odd one out. Are you allowed to say that? Say what? You know, thank God.
Oh.
Yep, I actually get double points when I say it since I'm a minister. Is that how it works? Oh my gosh.
Oh.
The points get you into heaven. That's how it works. Well, then I'm going straight to heaven because I say thank God all the time, even though I don't mean it. Anyway, where are the guys? I look and spot Hugo and Damien, who seem to have just arrived at the gallery. Good eve, good eve, good eve. Evening,
Hmm.
friends. Who's ready for some art? I have no idea what I'm in
Oh.
for. Same.
Ah.
All you have to know is that if you're ever feeling overwhelmed, there's generally always a table that has free wine and cheese. I like art now. I've got the table in my sights. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go help myself to some tiny wines. And Joseph, you're on your own, buddy. Sorry. So, what's this first place? This particular artist specializes in landscape painting of various locales within the American Northeast. Hmm. I look at the art. It is rad art. At the risk of sounding uninformed, do all of these landscapes look like butts to you guys?
Oh.
Damien and Hugo lean in, examining the paintings in earnest. It would appear as if you are correct.
Hmm.
Valid assessment, Ren. Hey, this art stuff's pretty
Ah.
easy. Oh, it gets more complicated.
Oh.
Sometimes the butts are more symbolic. Sometimes the butts are metaphors. Sometimes art is about the butts they don't draw. Hmm, interesting. Joseph returns to our group with tiny cheese and wine. What I miss?
Ah.
Butts. It's like a fucking Instagram profile. It's just butts, everything is a butt. Doesn't matter. It's just all butts. Shame. The cheese is nice though.
Oh.
Shall we visit the next place? Sure. We leave the first gallery and walk a few minutes before we reach another one. This gallery is a bit more crowded. Huge paintings of, I'm not even sure, hang on the
Hmm.
walls. Oh, oh geez. Are you allowed to say that? Are you allowed to say oh geez? I don't think so. What am I looking at here?
Ah.
This is abstract art. I think the more important question is, what does this art mean to you? I stare at the painting, concentrating as hard as I can on its meaning. Butts. It won't let me say. Oh, it's a butt. It's a butt. It's all butts. Everything's a butt. Who doesn't like butt?
Hmm.
Everyone else stares at the painting. Yeah, that's definitely a butt. I.
Hmm.
Hmm. While a valid assessment, I feel like the artist was trying to make a different statement. Probably how much he liked butts. You are a servant of the Lord.
Ooh.
We're all God's creatures, even butts.
Hmm.
Joseph, stop growing on me. Your family is not what I want. You're Satan. Your family are Satanists. I think you're just this whole Christianity thing is a cover. Comparing this piece to the artist's body of work, I'm pretty sure this represents the sense of isolation he feels creating traditional abstract artwork in a field that's rapidly moving toward digitalization. Wow, how did you figure that?
Oh.
That's what it says on the placard. Oh,
Oh.
let's look at a few more of these. We walk around the gallery sampling some more of the artist's work. I almost hate to say it, but abstract art is kind of growing on me. It's interesting to see the artist chooses not to let their work be defined by, what's the word, realism? Realism. As we're looking at one of the paintings, a patron scoffs loudly. Psh, I could do that.
Hmm.
Excuse me?
I.
Hugo, Not here.
Hmm?
No, come back here. The patron walks away, not noticing Hugo fuming right next to him.
Oh.
You say you could do that, but you didn't. You don't seem to have the intellectual depth of the artistic skill to execute a piece even a fraction as impressive as this
I'm
one.
not angry.
Art is the
I'm just
truest
disappointed.
art is the truest expression of the self, and it seems like your self is bad, so your art would be bad. Wow, what an insult. Hugo's insult game isn't the best, but there's no denying his passion. Damien is holding him back at this point.
Oh no.
Friend, he's not worth it.
I don't know.
Hugo manages to cool down. He smooths his jacket.
Hmm.
I'm sorry, I just love art very much. We know, buddy. I pat Hugo on the shoulder. You know what would ease the mood? Is it cheese? No,
Oh.
it's wine and cheese.
Hey.
Co-signed. The four of us head over to the wine and cheese table, which thankfully is grounded in realism and is actual wine and cheese.
Hey.
We got one last stop on the tour. You lot feeling up for it? Is it going to be any weirder than this art?
Oh.
It is absolutely weirder than this art. Let's do it.
Uh,
Damien, Hugo, Joseph, and I walk over to a performance in the street. Several masked performers in leotards undulate wildly on the ground, screaming both at each other and us.
More McDonald's.
So, quick question.
Hmm.
Shoot. What is happening? I second this question.
Oh.
Performance art. What does it mean?
ah.
Again, I pose the very same question to you, Mr. Ari. But what do you think they're trying to say?
Ah.
I believe it's less about what they're trying to say and more about why they're saying it. I think there's something special about performance art. With almost every other form of art, music, painting, and photography, the artist uses their medium as a conduit for their emotions.
Ah.
With performance art, the medium is the artist. It's the purest expression of raw human emotion. It's art as catharsis. That's beautiful, Damien. So what you're saying is, if I start making really loud fart noises right now, it's art, as long as I, really mean it. Damien fixes him with a hard stare. I was going to start making fart noises, but based on the look on your face, that joke isn't going to play well with this crowd.
Hmm.
Oh.
Wise. Joseph, stop growing on me. We watch the rest of the performance as earnestly as we can and clap politely after the dancers scream their way off stage. Phew, I think I'm all arted out. Agreed. We all decide to walk home together.
Oh.
We make our way back to the cul-de-sac, tiny wine and tiny cheese sloshing around in my stomach. I think what I've learned tonight, and not just what I've learned about art, which was nice and extremely informative, but what I've learned tonight is that when you put a bunch of tiny wine and tiny cheese together, it eventually becomes regular wine and regular cheese, followed by too much wine and too much cheese. The tiny cheese lulled me into a false sense of security. I felt safe with the tiny cheese. Wax wings too close to the sun.
Hmm?
Cheese wings. Those would melt in the sun too, and I feel like it's more appropriate imagery. Plus it'd be delicious. A nice Emmentaler, possibly. I don't know what that is. Hey, if you guys were painters, what would you paint?
Huh.
I actually dabble in oils. I mostly paint landscapes. I'm not very good, but it's a nice way to pass the time.
Hmm?
I think I would focus on personal portraits of people in unique professions, like, for example, luchadors. Yeah, that's something you'd be into, Hugo. I think I'd paint boats, seascapes, maybe some lighthouses. Mostly boats. Really?
Hey.
Yeah, I'm surprised you're choosing boats in favor of a long history of religious imagery and artwork. What? Boats are cool. What about you, Renn? Tasteful nudes of the artist. Of the artist, so of me. Oh my gosh. Landscapes or food. Honestly, I guess it would be landscapes. That's my favorite.
Hmm?
I think I could examine a lot of beautiful imagery and recapture it on canvas, and I'm just kidding, it's gonna be butts. Joseph gives me a high five. We finally get to the cul-de-sac. Alright, boys, good art. Good art.
Oh.
Agreed.
Hmm.
See you guys around? Whether you want to or not, we're all neighbors after all, and Joseph just sneaks into your house, so he will be there. I head inside to deal with my inevitable cheese over. All right, that was kind of short. Let's see. You know what? I think we have time for a date. And honestly, after the whole wrestling thing, I'm not too interested in Hugo. I know it's like a personal hobby and I shouldn't care, but Robert, I've got the hots for him, to be honest. Trust no one. Yes, trust no one. Don't trust Robert. He's going to do very bad things to me, I'm sure. I had a lot of fun with Robert the last time we hung out, but I'm beginning to wonder if he's dodging me. I've tried messaging him a few times, and Dadbook says he hasn't even read them. Haven't even seen him come out of his house, actually. He might be dead. You might have to check on him. I decide to send him one last message, figuring that this will produce the same result. Hey man, don't know where you've been, but we should grab a drink soon. I walk away from my computer because at this point, I know he's not messaging me back anytime soon. You think, but I bet he will. I linger in the kitchen. I'm all caught up on work. The house is relatively clean. Maybe I should do something nice for Amanda. I'll bake her favorite pie. Cake then pie. Oh my gosh, she's spoiled. I root through the pantry and pull out all the ingredients. This is an old family recipe that I used to make with my grandmother when I was a kid. I lost the actual recipe card a long time ago, but I think I'll be able to remember how to bake it. Amanda's going to be so excited. That kid loves a good pie. I have a seat at the kitchen table and do word jumbles until Amanda comes home. I can hear the door slam open. Yo, Pops, what smells like pie in here? It's pie, sweetie. Amanda darts over to the oven and looks inside.
Yes.
Hey, it's not done. Be
Hmm.
patient. What's your angle here? What?
Hmm.
Pies are an objective-based confection. What are you trying to get out of me? Nothing, honestly. Can't a dad bake his daughter a pie for no reason other than to make her happy? I don't trust you.
Hmm.
I wait a few more minutes before taking the pie out of the oven. I set it on a rack to cool and guard it so Amanda doesn't dig into it before it's ready.
Hmm.
Huh, what?
Hmm.
Does it look kind of weird to you? Oh, that's just me taking artistic license on what cherry pie means to me emotionally. I'm just saying this because, it seems like you might have baked this pie incorrectly. And you're currently, right now, trying to pass it off as a good thing.
Hmm.
It's art, sweetie. Was it art when you accidentally baked a whole uncracked egg into the center of my 12th birthday cake? Well, was it art when you tried to make brownies and accidentally created chlorine gas? Oh my god. Well, that's a bit of an exaggeration. Was it art when you just eat the pie, Amanda?
Hmm.
I cut us a few slices and we sit down to eat. The cherry filling oozes out of the sides and the buttery crust glistens. I watch as Amanda takes a bite. What's wrong? Is it not good?
Oh no.
Amanda winces and fans her mouth. No, I just burned the heck out of the roof of my mouth. This pie is amazing. Sorry for doubting you.
Ah.
I breathe a sigh of relief and take a bite. She's right. The pie is pretty incredible, as it always is. I'm really proud of you for making a pie without burning the new house down. I got a few dad tricks up my dad's sleeve. Maybe fathers aren't as bumbling and stupid as the media makes us out to be. Maybe we as a society should have a little more respect for fathers as a whole.
Huh?
Dad, your sleeve is on fire. I run to the sink and put myself out. Pride will be my undoing.
Hmm.
Amanda and I clean up the kitchen and play a little more living room hoops before she retreats to her room to do homework. I go back to my word jumbles. Hey, this one spells cat. The rest of the evening trickles by. We eat dinner, I help Amanda with one of her scholarship applications, and we both start getting ready for bed. This is perfect time for Robert to respond. I decide to check Dadbook one last time before I climb into bed. Still nothing from Robert. Huh, hope he's okay. I turn out the lights and lie down. Hey. Renn. Hey. Hey, Renn. Hey, I'm outside. Come outside. Oh my god. Oh, if you haven't been there with a guy that just shows up at your house and is like, I'm outside. It's 1 a.m. That's fine. uh, what is that? I was just on the verge of falling asleep. I climb out of bed and try to identify the source of the dinging. My computer screen illuminates the dark room. I walk over to it, ready to turn it off when I notice what's happening on screen. Don't make me honk. I will honk. Get out here. I look out my window and sure enough, there's Robert leaning up against his pickup truck in the driveway. Oh, like that's gotta be like, he's the best. 100%. He's swoon worthy. He's doing everything right. I open my door to try and figure out what's going on. Hey.
Hey.
Hey? Wanna hang? I was kind of sleeping. That's no fun. Come hang out. I would argue that sleeping is very fun, but I don't have to be anywhere in the morning. Might as well live a little. Sure. Cool. You plan on going out like that? I look down and realize that I am in fact not wearing pants. Oh, he's trying to get a little flirty. I mean, I don't mind. I know you do not. Right, 1 second. I run inside and throw on my going out pants, shoes, and a jacket. I grab my keys and meet Robert back outside. Ready? Ready. Hop in. I jump into the passenger seat of his old red pickup truck. I have to move a few empty cigarette packets and gas station receipts out of the way before I can sit. Robert silently starts his car and we drive out of the cul-de-sac. You like Tom Waits? Sure. Before I can answer, Robert turns up the radio. Yep, that's Tom Waits. All right. He lights a cigarette and cracks the windows. We drive together in silence. So, where are we going? Robert doesn't respond. Oh, I love his little elephant sticker. Oh, it's adorable. Robert? Oh, I heard you. He still doesn't answer my question. I look out the window and notice that Robert's taking us to the highway. I twiddle my thumbs. Well, whatever I've gotten myself into, it looks like I'm in it for the night. I settle into my seat and watch streetlights pass by. I glance over to Robert, who's driving intently. He looks tired, as he always does, but there's something a bit more there that I just can't place. Are you okay?
Hey.
Just peachy.
Oh.
Stop looking so nervous. I'm not nervous. I'm a little nervous.
Hey.
Just hang on. We're almost there. Almost where? I have no idea where we are. I think we're moving at a slight incline, but I'm not so sure. We eventually come to a stop. Robert gets out of the car and I sit for a second, unsure if he wants me to get out too. What are you waiting for? I hastily exit the car. Robert sits on the bed of his truck and pats the empty space next to him. This is so cute. Aww. Oh my god. Oh, bad boy Robert is just perfect. This was not, I had no idea he would be so perfect, but he is. If he's not every girl's dream, then I don't know. I don't know who is. I sit down and take in the view. We're on a hill overlooking the city skyline against the bay. The cool night air rustles some trees near us as lights blink in the distance. Off to the side I can see an entrance to a dense forest. Man, it's all so gorgeous. This is where I come to masturbate. What? I'm kidding. What's wrong with you? This is my little spot where I come to think. It's nice. You can see the whole city from up here. Really gives you some perspective. Robert reaches behind him and pulls something out from under his jacket. It glints in the moonlight and I suddenly realize what it is. Oh shit, that's a knife. Oh. Please don't stab me. Robert reaches into his pocket and pulls out a small piece of wood. Please don't stab me with that either.
Oh.
Robert takes the knife to the piece of wood and starts carving at it. Oh. I breathe a very audible sigh of relief as Robert looks at me sideways. Did you think I was going to stab you with it just now? What? No. Hate to break it to you, but I did in fact bring you out here to harvest your organs. Absolutely play along. Let's do this. Yeah, well, you think you caught me in your trap, but I knew. For years I've been putting the most vile junk food in my body in preparation for this day. Come at me, friend, and reap what you will. 2 steps ahead of you at all times. That's how I operate. Ha! Nothing gets past you, huh?
Hey.
See, this is great. This is a little back and forth. I love this. Robert reaches into his pocket and pulls out a folding knife that he opens and hands to me. I'm going to warn you, the last guy I had a knife fight with lost 3 fingers because he didn't know the 8 basic rules of knife fighting. You're familiar, correct? I honestly can't tell when you're kidding. I'm so many levels of irony deep that I've forgotten what humor is. He and I laugh. Have you ever whittled before? Considering I'm not a grandpa, no. What do you mean by that? Well, I just thought that you would have a block of wood shipped to you along with your first social security check.
Oh.
Ren, I'll have you know that whittling is a time-honored tradition enjoyed by both young and old alike. That you're dismissing it before you've even tried speaks volumes about your character.
Oh.
However, because I've gotten to know you for some time and I've come to think of us as friends, I'm willing to attribute it to ignorance instead of malice. What I'm trying to say is, go get that stick. Robert motions to a good-looking stick on the ground. Perfect for potential whittling. I pick it up.
Ah.
The most important thing to remember while whittling is to cut with the grain, not against it. If you cut against the grain, the wood is going to splinter. Isn't the most important thing safety?
I.
No. Getting hurt comes with the territory. Look at my damn hands. I look at his damn hands. They're calloused and covered in little white scars. They are very nice hands.
Huh.
You can't make a stick omelet without breaking a few hand eggs. Sure. Ah, is this a mini game? Knife that wood. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Oh. I mean, it's barely a mini game, but that works. That's a good start. What am I making? Is that what he asked? A sharp stick. Careful, don't poke yourself with that. You made a sharp stick. Woohoo! Alright. A popsicle stick. Tell me about this one. I mean, it's a popsicle stick. Now all you need is to carve up some wooden juice, wooden fruit, and a wooden freezer. Sure. You made a popsicle stick. Why is this wood so yellow? Oh, this is tiny. Toothpick? What's the story here? Something to make me look tougher. It's working. I think you could take me in a fight. Probably. Ooh. The flirting is so apparent. Come on. Is that an egg? Chicken. Chicken nugget. I don't know. Ouija board planchette. Chicken nugget. Please don't eat that. I won't. Robert uncomfortable. You made Robert uncomfortable. Oh. Come on, everything can be a chicken nugget if you put your mind to it. Come on. Oh, what is that? Nice form. What's it supposed to be? A self-portrait Louisiana, it's you. Well, I don't know if this is going to insult a self-portrait. Spitting image of you. You made a masterpiece. Yeah, that's me, all right. A chopstick, I guess. Interesting, what do we have here? Chopstick ambidextrous. It's a stick. It is. It is just a stick. Whoa, big one. What is that? Is it a swan? If you keep this up, you'll be whittling pro in no time. It's a swan. Nice work. The meanest bird. No, it's not. You haven't met a Canadian goose then. That's the meanest bird. This is a robot horse. It's a horse. A robot horse, obviously. Beautiful handwork. What do you call it? Sir Horsington the Brave. Aw, isn't that Amanda's? Yeah, I think so. A brave and noble name for a brave and noble creature. See, you can be Amanda's daddy too. We can both be her daddy. She'll be so happy. Aw.
Hey.
Robert and I sit in silence for a while, carving our pieces of wood. I think I'm getting the hang of this. It's actually kind of relaxing. I glance over to see what Robert's working on. He's carving a smaller wooden knife. You know what? I just realized I have not heard anything about Robert's children. Like, it's Dream Daddy, it's daddy dating. They're all dads. Where's your kid? Is this like a essentially a sperm donation type of situation? Ah! While I'm distracted, the knife slices into my thumb. Blood gushes all over my little wooden carving. Robert is lost in carving and doesn't notice me bleeding everywhere. Robert still doesn't notice. Robert, I'm dying. I'm bleeding to death. Robert finally looks over. He reaches into his jacket again, Jesus, how much stuff does this guy keep in there? And pulls out a red bandana. He wraps it around my thumb. Now kiss it better. Hold tight. He hops off the truck and I can hear him rummaging around in his car. He comes back a moment later with a well-stocked first aid kit. Robert carefully wipes all the blood off my hand and swipes a bit of antiseptic onto the cut. With surprising gentleness, he places a bit of gauze on the wound and wraps it all up. You okay? Yeah, I'm good. He hands me what's left of the tube of antiseptic. Make sure to keep that cut clean. It's oddly touching and a little sexy. Yeah, for sure. Dude's a master of being the bad boy character, of being like mysterious. But then he's got a first aid kit. He knows he can be a sweet boy. I guess I'm a real whittler now. That you are. Be careful though. They're attracted to the smell of blood. Wait, what? What's attracted to the smell of blood? Cryptids. Tons of them out here, you know. Cryptids? Like Mothman and stuff? Mothman is bullshit, but yeah. This town's a hotbed for cryptozoological occurrences. You're joking. Oh, how I wish I were. I'm a skeptic myself, or at least I thought I was. There are things in these woods that can't possibly comprehend. I think about my entire time in the city. Aside from the occasional stray coyote, I don't think it's too bad. You ever hear about the Dover ghost? I don't think so. Well, let me tell you a story. I was out in the woods here on a weekend camping trip with Betsy. You don't know Betsy, but she's a big pit bull, real intimidating. I feel safe around her. First night goes without incident. I get some solitude. Betsy gets to pee wherever she wants, all good stuff. Second day, I get the idea into my head that I can hike deeper into the woods, probably against my better judgment. But hey, we're just having a fun camping trip, right? So me and Betsy start marching in the morning. It gets a little late and we set up camp, but it's different this night. Real quiet. I can't hear the birds, the crickets, squirrels, nothing. Dead silent. Then it happens. I hear the most unholy growl I've ever heard in my life, right outside my tent. Me and Betsy, we go to investigate. We look around the clearing, nobody's there. But there's this feeling. Not sure if I can quite describe it. I know something is watching us. Betsy, though, she's scared. Never seen her like that. And when she's scared, I know that I should be too. And then I see it in the distance. A man, but there's something that didn't know what a man was supposed to look like made it. It just looked wrong. Big, arms too long for its body, black eyes. It just stood there and stared at me. Then it disappears. I hear one yelp from Betsy and I turn around to check on her. But she's gone. Into thin air. I didn't sleep at all in my tent that night. And I don't think I've slept right since. You're lying because Betsy was in the house. Okay, you're full of shit. You think I'm lying? Robert pulls out his wallet and shows me a picture of a beautiful pit bull. Tell that to Betsy. They say that if you listen closely on quiet nights just like tonight, you can hear the howl of the Dover ghost. A howl resonates through the woods. It doesn't sound like a regular howl. It's so guttural. Even from far away, something about it makes my skin crawl. Okay, Robert, real funny. I turn to look at Robert. He's white as a sheet. You're messing with me, right? I was messing with you up until literally just now. I totally made that camping story up. I strain my eyes to scan the forest line, trying to see where the howl originated from. Off in the distance, I see something. It's so far away, I barely can make out a shape. It's human, but it's dragging something? Do you see that? We should go. Robert and I slowly back away and get into the truck. He turns off his headlights and we make a slow crawl away back onto the road. I'm too scared to look back. What was that? The Dover ghost, I guess. I chuckle nervously. This time he doesn't seem like he's messing with me. Or maybe someone illegally dumping garbage on a wildlife preserve? Yeah, that's the story we'll tell ourselves. We sit in silence for a while longer, the fear of whatever that was slowly subsiding as we get closer to the city. Thanks for coming out. This was really fun. I'm sorry I haven't been in touch. I've just been away lately. Been in a way lately. I had to get out of the house. Had to be around somebody. You doing okay, man? Robert thinks for a second and lights another cigarette.
I.
Been doing a lot of thinking. He takes a long drag. He's thinking about how lonely he is and how he needs a
Oh.
friend. As I get older, I feel more and more that I'm just drowning in a sea of regret. I was so busy chasing after these things that I thought would make me happy that I didn't think about anybody else. All I cared about was myself. I didn't even think.
I.
Robert stops. I wait for him to finish his thought, but he just stares at the road. Maybe I'm just built like this. Or maybe I do it to myself. Maybe it's my own choice that I'm as unhappy as I am. I try to think of something to say. I remember all the times in my life when I've been sad, and there's a great many of them, but there was always a light at the end of the tunnel. Something I held onto that kept me going. But there's something so resigned about the way Robert's talking. That sucks. I'm glad you told me. Maybe we deserve to be eaten by the ghost. Oh God, I don't know. I'm glad you told me. It must have taken a lot for you to want to tell somebody this. You're a mysterious guy, Robert. You don't have to be. Do you ever wish you were a better father? I think about it for a second. All the time. You can read all the parenting books you want, but nothing will ever prepare you for raising a child. There's so much stuff I regret, or wish that I could have done better, but I don't have the answers. I don't know if anyone does. It's funny. I look at you and your relationship with your daughter, and it seems perfect. It isn't. At least you're there for her. I stare out the window at the blur of passing trees. I just hope I'm a better father to my kid than my dad was to me.
Oh.
What did your dad do? It's more about what he didn't do. He was quiet, stoic. Don't think he ever once told me that he loved me. He cared more about his work than he ever did about me or my mom. Do you hate him? No, I used to. But after I became a parent, I just kind of feel bad for him. He missed out on my whole childhood. When I think about all the happiest memories of my life, they're all with Amanda and Alex, and he just wasn't there. It hurt like hell when I had to leave him to die in that Belarusian prison. What? I turn and smile at him. No, he's retired in Florida with my mom. We go there every Christmas. See, now I'm getting it. Now we're speaking the same language. Oh my God. We both break out into laughter. He pats me on the shoulder. We drive the rest of the way in silence, listening to the radio and watching the bright lights of the city grow bigger. Robert drops me off at my place. As I'm about to close the passenger door, I realize I still have Robert's pocket knife in my jacket. I pull it out and offer it back to him. You hold on to that. Never know when you might need it. Night, Robert. Have a safe drive home. Robert smirks and pulls away. He then immediately pulls into his driveway, which is one over from mine. He gets out and waves. I tiptoe into the house, careful not to wake Amanda up. Whoa, where'd you come from? I look around and spot Amanda coming out of the kitchen with a glass of water. I thought you were sleeping. Oh, Robert woke me up to go cryptid hunting. You know the Mothman is bullshit, right? Amanda, you know what? It's fine. I think about the conversation I had with Robert in the car as Amanda starts walking towards her room. Hey, Amanda. She stops. I love you. It's weird when you say it outright and sincerely like that, but I love you too. Night. I chuckle to myself, then finally decide to go to bed. Oh my God, that was the perfect episode. That was the perfect date. I loved every single thing about that. Look at our friendship points. Please tell me this is an S. Yes! Oh my God, I love him. I love him so much. There's no competition anymore. Robert is end goal. Robert is everything. If you liked this episode, let me know in the comments. Tell me what you think about Robert. And subscribe and share. I'll see you in the next one.